Hello, hello. Oh, excuse me. FedPhoenix fam. So, I want to make a brief video about my first holidays home since prison. They were good, very good. Um, but honestly, a lot of times I felt really out of place. Um, I'm a person who's not very zealous naturally. You know what I mean? I'm not oh, about to drop the phone. But I'm not a jump up and down, stand and clap kind of person. Um, but when I was incarcerated, there was such a overwhelming amount of monotony, such an overwhelming amount of just deprivation, of lack of choice, of uneventfulness, of boringness. And there was also an equally overwhelming amount of just frustration and disappointment and you kind of really get in this mentality of like you just roll with it. You just don't allow yourself to be affected, you know what I mean, by things. Especially for me, with knowing I should have went home after 6 months on cares, and the warden and her personal bias prevented that. And then I should have been, my FSA eligibility was taken with no rightful justification. And the only time, and I did my admin remedies, so that was the nines are expected to go not favorable, but the tens and elevens, I mean, half the time the responses didn't even apply to me. Like, it was clearly just a copy paste response that was just being mass, distributed to people's admin remedies, due to the overwhelming amount of them that were being moved about at the time. So I really kind of became conditioned to almost being indifferent to everything, kind of as a psychological like survival tool. So now that I'm home and good things happen, and like the holidays and time with my children, and my family, and things that I truly enjoy. I think I probably come off as though, even though I'm really happy and I'm really enjoying these things, I probably come off as a little bit cold or distant, and I find that I get a little overstimulated socially way more quicker now than I used to. And I know that over time, you know what I mean? As I adjust back to life in the free world, this will improve. But, dealing with these things, my first holiday season home, it was kind of frustrating for me. And I felt like I was probably like disappointing maybe some of my loved ones because I just wasn't as reactive as a person would normally be per se, in positive ways. And so, and knowing this was happening made me even feel more uncomfortable and kind of out of place. Like I was where I wanted to be and I was doing what I wanted to do with the people I wanted to do it with, but it didn't feel natural. You know what I mean? It didn't feel forced, but it felt, there was an uncomfortable element to the whole thing. So I'm hoping that next year I'll be more acclimated to life in the free world and just more back to being kind of my normal self. And this will be less of an issue, or hopefully a non-issue. Today, by the way, in regards to my upcoming surgery, today I went to Charleston to do all the preoperative tests and screening and all that kind of stuff. And I think it went well. And so we're on track for a week from now. I'll be going under the knife to get a major abdominal surgery. So thoughts and prayers in that department. So anyway, I just wanted to drop this real quick. I know some of the people who watch my channel are also recently home, and this is probably their first holiday home with their family, and they may be going through some of the same things, or your loved one, it may be their first holiday home, and you may be confused, by their demeanor or their responses to things. And it just takes time. Just like it took time to adjust to being institutionalized, it takes time to adjust to not being that. And we got to be patient with ourselves. And if you're the loved one of a formerly incarcerated person or someone who will soon be formerly incarcerated, you're gonna have to be patient with them as well. Because, as much as they may seem out of character, they're far more aware of that than you are. And it's far more of a struggle for them to go through that than it is for you to simply witness it. So that's my little tidbit on that. And my birthday is coming up in 4 days. New Year's Eve is my birthday, my first birthday home. Um, And my last two birthdays were in prison. So I guess, yeah, in like 2 years. So, and again, I feel really awkward about that. But, that's something I'm just going to deal with the best I can and hope over the years things improve. You know what I mean? For me, just within myself, my own headspace. But in the description of the video will be my Cash App and PayPal if you'd like to donate to the channel, to me, or whatever, my reentry, my medical care, whatever it is that it ends up going to. But which is a short list. My book I'm writing, that kind of thing. Um, and as will be my email if you need to contact me for any reason. If you like the video, please feel free to subscribe. We are up to 110 subscribers, which again, I know in the grand scheme of things, and for a lot of people, that's, a laughable nothing. But for me, that's huge. I know 110 people are following my journey and want to, they've made an effort to be updated and informed on it as it goes. And I really appreciate that. And, of course, I'd love to see those numbers go up higher. So if you are watching the video and you've thought about subscribing and you haven't, it costs you nothing. And it certainly adds something really positive to my world and my day to day. I actually check my YouTube channel probably like 2, 3 times a day to see if the subscriber numbers go up. But, you know. So anywho, oh, and as you guys know, I have a merch line. There will be a link to that in the description. And hopefully I'll still be on track to get my first book published the end of next summer. So we'll see how that goes too. So anyway, good day. God bless. And whatever you're going through, it is just a slice of your life and you will get through it because you have to.